Welcome everyone, this is Janky FPV and welcome to my channel. I have been in the hobby for about 6 months now, and I can tell you right now, as a beginner pilot, it's a lot different than you would expect. Even watching some of the videos that I did, and I watched a lot of videos, out of those 6 months I've only been flying 3 of them, just because I started from nothing. I didn't know anything. I had to learn everything my own way and try to get into it. There's a lot of help online, and I will be talking about some of those people that I do recommend when first starting out. As I'm pretty sure, depending on how long you guys been flying, you guys already know Joshua Bardwell. He is my biggest reason that I have been able to put this in the air and learn as much as I did. There's a lot of other channels too that I recommend that I'll be getting into shortly. My vision for this channel, honestly guys, I'm not a professional. I haven't been in this hobby very long. Like I said, it's been less than a year, but I feel like there's a lot of things that I've already been through in the hobby that I would like you guys to know, and some things to keep in mind, and how to get kind of through those hurdles when it comes to starting out in FPV. It's been an amazing journey so far. I can't wait to do more. I'll share my Instagram and everything in the description, just because I want you guys to see some of my skills. Not super skilled yet, but I have been having a lot of fun, and I got a couple of upgrades that I want to show you guys as far as my 3.5 inch quad. And yeah, man, let's get into it, y'all. So tip number 1 I want to show you guys is always keep spare parts. There's a lot of things that I've had to repair on this drone. The first time I broke it, I kind of fried this ESC, the FC flight controller, and I didn't have any spare parts. I had to cut, obviously, the wires off of my motors. I could have unsoldered them, honestly, but I cut them off, and me being a beginner, I did not keep my spare wires, the lengths of everything. This is already from like 3 or 4 times fixing the drone, and I always recommend keeping spare parts. It's going to be useful. You're not going to have to order new things. You know how annoying it's been when I order something new and I'm ready to put it on, and my new motors, and I didn't have spare parts. As far as the motors and stuff, of course, you know, they come with long wires already, but when I went to resolder the old ones, they were already too short, and I had thrown away the ones that I cut when I first put them on. Please don't let that happen to you, y'all. It's not something that you want to go through, especially when you're excited to get back in the air and now you have to wait another week to order something. Also, buy a lot of props. If you're building your first quad, when I built mine, I only ordered 6 of them, obviously 3 and 3 of another color, and I was using HQ props on these with a pretty aggressive pitch. I think it was a 3052 prop from HQ prop. And I also use Gem Fan, but I started with HQ. I do recommend getting more of them. Every single time that I have crashed this drone, and trust me, you will crash it, especially when you're starting off, I have bent a prop, I have broken a prop, it has snapped off, and I'll post a couple of videos of those right there too that kind of led to me destroying my quad and having to order new parts because I didn't have any already for a backup. Second tip. I started off in the sim the first 2 months of me flying. While I was watching all those videos and everything, I was on the sim as well. It's something that's going to boost your guys' confidence, and it's going to boost your understanding of how the quad flies. Everything depends on your style. I have seen so many different people fly, and everybody flies differently. Get your understanding of the quad, learn yaw, learn pitch, learn roll, and just understand everything very well. If you're not confident in the sim, then you probably, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't go outside and fly it, but I mean, it's just do yourself some justice and like actually learn how to keep that thing in the air and at least learn how to land. I'll show you a video as well of a couple videos that I have landed and I crashed the drone. Didn't break it when I land, but it's always bouncing around. It can get damaged, and I prefer that you guys don't go through the same things that I have. Sim flying is really fun. You don't have to worry about anything getting broken. I currently use Uncrashed. I started off with Liftoff, and I still have both, so I go back and forth. I'll do a review of all three of the sims that I use, so Uncrash, Liftoff, and Micro FPV, which is part of Liftoff series, and it's like an extension of the game, of the simulator. It does help a lot. It's not as close to real life as you would think for being a simulator, and that's okay, it's expected. You should always just keep in mind that gravity is not the same in real life as it is in the sim. When you're in the air on the sim and you're doing 360 yaw rolls, 360 yaw spins and everything like that, it's going to fall out of the sky a lot faster than you think. In the game, it's always going to be floaty. It's going to be a little bit more unrealistic, but I just want you guys to keep the expectation that you're going to have to be a little bit quicker in on the reflexes in real life. This thing will fall out of the sky, bro. It's a little, when I first did it, it scared me a little bit because I flipped the yaw spin and it fucking fell straight onto the battery. But, you know, we all learn, y'all. Another tip that I want to give you guys is always use the first pack to scope out new flying spots. There is a video that I'm going to post as well that I went to a new spot and I just sent it on the first pack. I don't recommend that, especially if you don't know what's going on, how the terrain is, and that's how I broke my camera on this drone, and that's something that I wanted to suggest to you guys so you guys don't have to go through that as well. Another tip that I want to give you guys, especially when learning, is always follow knowledgeable people in FPV. There's a lot of people out there that make videos that may make things that are not true or very helpful when it comes to you learning how to build things. Just do your research. I'm going to recommend a couple of people here that have helped me a lot. One of them is obviously Joshua Bardwell. He's the one that kept me in the air when I first started. Let's see who else. Patrick Watkins shows you freestyle reviews. He'll teach you tricks. He'll teach you how to do things that you want to learn. His explanations are on point. I highly recommend him. Chris Rosser, when it comes to pit tuning and just making your quad fly as best as it can, he's going to be the one to go to as well as Joshua Bardwell. I don't really recommend getting into FPV and immediately start pit tuning. It's not something that you have to do at first. Betafly already comes with a lot of presets, and straight from the factory, these FCs already have a pretty good tune for someone that doesn't know exactly what's going on. You're not going to see a noticeable change in your flying when you change all of these things in pit tuning. Maybe in your rates. I started messing with my rates pretty early on as well. It's been okay. I'm just trying to find something that flies and works well for me depending on the flight style that I have. Just keep in mind that until you learn how to control it and know what's happening when you use the sticks on your controller, on your receiver, you're not really going to notice a big difference. So just keep that in mind, guys. Just keep it simple. Don't make it harder than it needs to be for you guys. It's really hard to always be changing something, and every time you go outside it flies differently. Until you know what the pits do, they can also damage, they can overheat your motors, they can blow up your ESCs. Bro, check that, man. That's not okay, guys. I overheated this. It wasn't through pit tuning. It was my fault from causing a short. But this is absolutely something that can happen to your ESC if you mess with something wrong and you're overpowering your ESC by pit tuning stuff. As far as your motors as well, they can damage, they can get hurt, they can overheat. You don't want that, man. We put a lot of money into this. I am by no means a person of wealth, and it took me a lot, man. It took me a lot of saving for this. It took me a lot of research to the things that I put on here. And as you can see, I have broken this multiple times. Weeks of waiting, a couple of weeks of like saving up for new parts, just because obviously I have other responsibilities. You know, I'm married. But yeah, man, you want to just take your time, do things slow. And that's another thing too, y'all. When you're in the sim, if you guys can learn how to fly slow, that is a game changer, you guys. It's going to help you guys so much when you're maneuvering things. Anybody can fly fast, especially in the sim. Anybody can fly fast. But when you start getting slow and low to the ground and have more controlled movements, more precise actions on that controller, is going to help a lot, especially when you get yourself into a pickle or anything that's going to be an issue, an obstacle. It's going to be nice to learn how to slow down, how to fly slow, how to avoid things. And yeah, man, it's going to help a lot. I am more of a freestyle pilot. I got into this hobby, kind of wanted to do the cinematography route, and maybe I still do a little bit. That's why I got the Runcam Thumb 2. Just for the 4K shots, I currently use the Avatar HD 1080p camera on here. I broke my first one. Let me see where that's at. Yeah, I broke this one. I broke the lens. I already pulled everything out just to see what it looked like, and I took off the back and kind of, just dug into it a little bit. But I got the new one in here. It's the Walksnail Avatar HD Pro camera. I love this thing, man. The goggles are pretty cool as well. I use the Avatar Goggles L. They're cheap. They're about $200. I think they're a little bit more now because of the tariffs that are going on. So I think they went up to $250, I believe. But anyways, this is a Skylite 3.5 by Drib. It's really cool. I got it off RotorRiot with the ducts as well. They go on here. I got to get new screws for them. They don't really reach too well as far as what they sent me, so I'm gonna hit them up and see if I can get a replacement set of screws. As far as the frame itself, has been fucking dope to fly, y'all. It's really cool. It's small. I live in an area where maybe people, I would say, they get kind of annoyed by drones and may not want them to be too loud, or you just don't want them to catch the attention of everyone. By no means is this quiet, but it does fly very well. It's small enough that you can kind of get away with flying in spots that you normally wouldn't be able with a 5-inch. And that's another thing to keep in mind as well. Depending on your area, I know a lot of guys are going to want to start with 5-inch quads. Don't always recommend them. They make motors now. They make frames that are smaller that can do all of the same things that your 5 inches can do, and maybe more, because now they're smaller. They're more discreet. I am currently using the T-Motor Hobby, I believe 2203.5, 3550 kV. I fly 4S, and I use R-line batteries. They've been really cool. They work really well. They don't have a lot of voltage sag as far as my experience. Everybody's going to say something a little bit different, but in my experience, I've enjoyed the drone. I kind of want to take you guys through my process of soldering things on. I use ELRS. This is the Radio Master RP1. We're going to actually solder this on together. This is my first video. I wish I can take you guys out to fly and show you what I got, but we got to fix it first, and that's something that you guys are going to have to get used to. It's super annoying when you break something, but it's part of the game. Learn how to fix your quads. There's a shitload of videos out there that you guys can watch that are going to be super helpful when it comes to putting these things back together. But it's worth it, man. Like, if you guys can learn how to fix it, now you don't have to pay someone else to fix it. You don't have to wait more to order shit that you guys don't need when you guys can just fix it yourself. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about that. This isn't going to be a tutorial about how to solder, because I'm still starting out, but it's something that I had to get used to and something that I had to learn myself. Obviously damaging a lot of parts. I damaged this. Wasn't super cheap. It came as a stack, but yeah, I fried this because my solder joints got cold. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well, but my solder joints got cold. They touched. They did a whole lot of stuff that just kind of ended this ESC. It was pretty big as well, because I had tried to put it on this Volador VX3 frame, and this thing is too big, y'all. Like, if you guys are going to be ordering a stack or even individual parts, please just read the specs, read the sizes. I didn't. I kind of went just off the 20 by 20 spacing on it, which fit this perfectly, but the sheer size of this ESC does not fit this very well, man. Like, it was a super tight fit. It's going to make your lives a whole lot harder when it comes to putting them on and being able to fit everything snugly, and not to the point that they're going to break shit every time you fly it. If everything's too tight, they won't be able to function properly. It might, I don't know, it just throws off the way the drone flies. It's just going to be harder all in general for you. And this is the FC that came with it. I think this is a SkyStars. Yeah, SkyStars ESC. It was 60 amps. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, until I broke it, this is what came together. But just do your research, man. This stack would probably fit a lot better on this drone because this is a 3.5 as opposed to the 3-inch. But it's already too late for that. I'm already using some different things on this that I like a lot better now. But yeah, let's get into soldering some of this stuff on. I'm going to be soldering on the Runcam Thumb 2 to the ESC. It's going to be interesting. This is the first time I've ever used it, so I'll probably make a review video on it and just talk about a little bit what I think. I tried to use a GoPro. I have a GoPro Mini 3, GoPro 11 Mini. It's small. Unfortunately, it was still too heavy to put on this drone. I thought it would work out. I mean, as far as me flying this without the GoPro, it gives me about 4 minutes of flight time on 4S batteries. I use 1050 mAh and I use 850, which I bought now to use this camera. So I'll let you guys know what the flight time is on that with the 850 milliamp batteries. Let's see. So as far as what I use for soldering, this is a really basic Schneider soldering kit I bought from Harbor Freight. It's about 80 bucks. It's nice. Comes with obviously your soldering iron, your power, and then you have this here. I don't really use this little sponge thing that comes with it. It just doesn't seem very helpful to me. But what it did not come with is the actual brush that you're going to use to clean it. Just get one. I believe my friend gave me this one, but I believe they sell some at like Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff like that. Just because you're going to want to make sure that the tip is clean every time you solder, so you have an actual good connection when you guys are doing this stuff. As far as the flux that I use, I bought this from RotorRiot as well. This is TVS flux paste. This is no clean, so you don't have to be cleaning this with alcohol. I still do it just to keep things, you know, nice and neat and clean. I use 70% isopropyl alcohol as well as I have 90%, depending on what I can find. They both work pretty well. All right, so I have the cord here. You can see I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was, but it's my first video on YouTube, so I'm gonna let that slide a little bit. This is gonna be the connection. It's just gonna use a 5-volt LED and a ground when you're connecting this. So I'm always going to pull this apart here. Just get it nice and neat. If I can do this a little easier. Right. So I'm not sure if you guys can see very well. I keep my temperature around 750. Some people use it a little bit higher, some people a little bit lower. I feel like with this iron and the flux and the solder that I use, this works very well. I bought this big ass spool from Pyrodrone. It's a great damn website to order stuff from. The tariffs hit pretty much every website, and if you guys know one that has not been raped by tariffs, please let me know, because everything is way more expensive now to buy. Alright, so we're going to be using the LED, the ground, and the 5-volt pad right here on the flight controller. So what I'm going to do first is I always tin this, make sure that it's nice and shiny. You want a good connection between what the wire and the actual connection on the flight controller. I also don't have a pad, and I recommend using a pad so you don't mess up your table, but we're going to work with what we got right now, and we're going to get some ventilation in here because we don't want all those fumes. This is leaded solder. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say that it affects a lot or not, but that's up to you. They do sell unleaded solder, but I have found it a little bit more difficult to get that to work and to get my joints nice and clean like the way I want them. So I'm going to use a little bit of flux here. It doesn't need a whole lot, especially for these smaller ones. Each FC is going to have bigger or smaller pads. This one has it pretty small, but we're going to work with that. Now what I'm going to do is heat up the actual pad instead of heating up the wire. I'm just going to tin the actual pads first. That needs to be a little bit hotter. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to do the LED. Yeah, that's better. I raised mine up to almost 780, not fully 800, just because I don't want it to be too hot. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Still has some flux on it, but that's just me tinning the pads right there. Now we're going to take these .5 volts going to be red, black is going to be ground, and then it has a PWM cable, which is going to be the LED. If you have PWM on your flight controller, it's just going to allow you to put the camera recording on a switch. I don't really care about all that. I am good with just pressing the button on here and just letting that rock when I'm about to go out and fly. You can use, this one already looks to be tinned, so I just like to do it just in case. But always take a little bit of flux. I put a little bit on here just to get them connected. Cool. Bam. Alright. Then I take my solder. There we go. And just tin those. Okay, cool. Now we can go back in and put these on their corresponding one. Red is 5 volt. Kind of want these facing forward a little bit just because obviously the camera's in the front, so I don't want to have to bend the cord too much. LED is going to be this yellow, which is the PWM cable. Okay, and then black is ground. Cool. I don't have all of the parts. I'm still waiting on the VTX to come in, which is the Avatar V2 HD Pro. Now I'm going to rebend this here so I can be able to put this under. I don't want it too tight to the point that it feels like it's going to pull the joints out. I'm just going to keep it like that for now. Once I get everything, I'll show you guys the actual, how I put everything, just because it's not going to hold without. It's not going to hold without the top on it. There we go. So, got everything soldered up right there, and I got this through here. That's about done. As far as this, I'm not sure what happened to this, but this just came off. I'm just going to resolder this real quick so it'll be ready to go back on to the flight controller. Always twist these up if they're not already. Most likely they're not going to be, but I always twist it up a little bit. Just makes it a little bit easier to keep everything together. A little bit of flex on that. Take this. This is just going to go back on here to the RX. And please be safe with this. Don't follow what I'm doing. This is I don't have all the necessary tools, but I'm going to work with what we got. You just want to make sure that none of your joints bridge each other. This one seems okay. Just need a little more. I know Reddit says you need more flux. You don't always need more flux. Maybe you just need a little bit more solder. It already has flux on it. And there you go. So I got that together there. I'm always going to clean some off. I have a little plate over here just in case anything drips. I just like to brush it off with some alcohol. Like I said, this one from TBS is a no clean, but I still clean. And it'll dry off fairly quickly as well. Blowing it a little bit just to let it dry out. I got a little bit of solder on the actual PCB on it. I don't think it'll short anything, but just in case, I'm just going to take it off. Use a little this. This is a solder sucker. This helps a lot, man. This has gotten me out of a bind plenty of times. There you go. There you go. Now we can turn that off. We got both of them done. So once I get everything put back together, and I get the new part, I'll be getting that on Monday. Today is Thursday, if anybody is wondering what day of the week it is. I'll be getting it on Monday, and I'll show you guys how I put that together. I already have my new camera on here, and I'm just waiting to get that so I can connect everything, and then we'll test it and go fly. I'll be putting those videos up that I told you guys about already, but yeah. Alright, thank you guys very much, man. I appreciate you guys following along, and if you stay this long, I appreciate it, man. This has been kind of a crazy experience. This is my first YouTube video ever, but it's nice, man. I feel like I want to do this and bring a community together. That's pretty much it. I already got everything back together. Once the VTX comes in and I get that put on, we'll go out for some test flights, and we'll see how this thing rips, man. This new camera, I'll be posting the footage of that as well, see how that looks compared to what I get from my goggles. Expecting it to be 100 times better, but I don't know. Let's see. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming along.